Well, let's make a game about
Donkey!
I didn't exactly know how the game will look or even what the exact genre I want it to be, but one thing I know for certain, we need Shrek in it. I found Shrek model on Sketchfab and imported it directly
That is fucking
into
enormous.
Unreal Engine. To bring it to life, I need some animation.
How long has it been since I last watched Shrek? It feels so good back then watching Shrek, man. It feels like a miracle. Wow.
So I opened Mixamo and got a bunch of very useful animations. Time to make a playable Shrek character. I mean,
That is playable
it was
as
worth a
fuck.
try, but from now on, I gotta use the free locomotion plugin. The only problem is, the Shrek model I got from Sketchfab has a really f***ed up skeleton. And to make it work with anything Unreal Engine related, I have to go back to Blender and rig it to Unreal skeleton. But it was 100% worth it, since now I can grab any animation that's supposed to work with Unreal's mannequin and slap it onto my Shrek character. What I always wanted to do is to recreate
swamp.
this scene in Unreal Engine. All I need is vertex painting, a lot, and I mean it, a lot of mega scans, and too much free time I have no idea how to spend.
Jesus Christ, the amount of work to put in just for a fucking Shrek game is crazy. God damn. Wow. I don't think my
Okay,
PC can
it's
handle the
great,
game
but
like
the
this.
swamp looks great.
If the
While
map is a
making
little
the
bit
swamp,
bigger, I don't
I
think my
did
PC
implement
can
a bunch
handle
of
this
small
at all.
details, like these footsteps with sparkles, or stuff like
We
water
love Shrek
splashes.
indeed.
At this point,
Bro,
I'm
the
still not
graphics
sure
look
what
so
game
good,
to even
though.
make. I mean, I have Shrek and a beautiful swamp, but what is the gameplay should look like? I was always in love with action RPG.
Hey, my girlfriend is
games,
here.
And
W
why not
girlfriend.
just make one? Won't it be fun
Love you.
if you can become Shrek and slay some monsters and get some loot? And the idea was born. Fairy tale creatures invade the swamp, and you should protect it. You will collect epic loot along the way to become stronger and stronger.
Holy
to
shit, this
progress
guy
through
art
the
is
endless
crazy.
waves of enemies attacking your swamp.
I know that they're trying to like build an idea, but holy fuck, making a whole goddamn art from the idea, that is absolutely crazy. Oh my god.
And grab this gingerbread man model from Sketchfab. I went through the same steps as for the Shrek character. Got a model, grab some animations from Mixamo, adjust the skeleton and animations in
That
Blender,
gingerbread
and
got
imported
some
it all
moves.
to Unreal Engine to create a ginger character. I then proceeded to make a
That
simple
that
AI
ginger
that
cookie
will
got some
follow you
moves
and
there.
attack once in range.
Oh my
We
god.
wanna protect ourselves, don't we? So I went on and implemented Souls-like target system. We can press a button to select the closest target and enter combat stance. The camera will behave similar to Souls-like games and will be fixed on a selected target. And before we continue, I want
Dark
to show you
Souls?
something I've been working
Dark
on
Shrek?
my backup copy of the project. I completely removed
We're having Dark
lighting,
Shrek now.
shadows, and ambience of the whole scene. I don't
Wow,
have
that
any
looks so
experience with
good,
real
man.
3D environments. In the backup
Elden
project,
Shrek Soul.
nurtured
If this
so
game
we
is
can
named that
continue
way,
with our
I would
combat system.
definitely buy it.
I can check for collisions in appropriate moment and deal damage to every enemy colliding with invisible spheres on Shrek's hands. For now, I made enemies just ragdolling after death. I also did a damage
God, I love the
numbers open
ragdoll
up on
system,
the
dude.
screen. I'm not completely sold on this, so it's a subject to change. To have something to start with, I implemented a simple wave system, mostly for the convenience of testing. This is a temporary system I will definitely rework later.
Are we gonna have a weapon
First,
system?
It's 2023 after all. So I went back to Sketchfab, found a perfect villain, and went through the same steps of creating and animating the character all over again. The boss will run at you and sometimes cast his own ability, Tornado, damaging
Wow.
everything on its path. To spice things up, I added another fairy tale creature, Pinocchio. I decided to make him range.
Ah,
since we
this
already
guy
have
is a
too many
fucking
enemies.
genius.
He will pick up stones from the ground and throw them at you. I really wanted to add a big bad wolf as well, but the best model I found was the one from Shrek's
Oh my
Superstar
god,
game,
that's
and
a
it was
fucking
pretty
PS1 type
outdated,
model
so
right
not
there.
like that. But hey, we at least have 3 types of enemies now. The next step in a big picture is to implement ability system. I created a bunch of UI elements in Procreate and Photoshop and put them all together
Oh
with Unreal
my
Motion
God.
Graphics Designer. I obviously took inspiration from real action RPGs. The result is
Oh
pretty
my
decent in
God.
my opinion. I then designed and implemented 6 different abilities for the game. First one is a tornado or cyclone.
Oh
You
my
become a
God.
devastating tornado, crushing everything on your path and dealing damage to surrounding enemies.
Bro,
It's a
isn't this
challenge
amazing?
ability, and you need enough mana to sustain it.
And I
It's
swear
such a
this is
classic
actually better
ability
than
that I
99% of
just
AAA companies out
The
there.
second ability is
This is
ground
99%
You
better
leap
than all of
forward,
those
damaging and
AAA
knocking off
companies
all
out there. Let me
enemies
tell you
upon
that. Oh my
It's a
God.
perfect ability to use to engage and disengage from combat. I'm a big fan of Lip Slam from Path of Exile, so that's where it comes from.
Dude, that looks fun as hell. I wonder it would have like
I can
weapon
do it.
system.
The third ability is Dance. You burst into a dance, dealing low but increasing with each tick damage to all enemies in an area. The plot twist is that you firstly completely stationary and secondly have to sustain mana to channel it. Ability is a nerf bolt. You
Holy
can't
shit.
directly use it, but while in a slot, it causes your combat stance become a magic stance. Each auto attack, your left click, will instead fire an earth bolt, dealing damage and knocking off the first enemy on the way.
I have
or
no
even
fucking idea
multiple
what
enemies,
Shrek
if
has
they're
become.
close enough.
Shrek has become a goddamn wizard.
And finally, I made a special potion ability.
And I
Drink a
like that.
potion to restore some percentage of your health. You have limited potion uses which will reset between waves of enemies. After creating all these abilities,
Oh my
I
God,
had
look at those
some real
moves,
fun
though.
fixing
Oh.
a lot of bugs.
Oh.
A lot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This game is fucking amazing.
Even though I designed 6 abilities, every one of them is a complete tool to deal with monsters. To give you some examples, you can only use Tornado and succeed. You can only use Earthquake and be just fine. You can even go all in and just use your auto attack. So you don't actually need all abilities I designed, only one or maximum 2 of them. I would even argue using all abilities will slow you down and create non-optimized gameplay, which kind of brings us to the next topic, loot. You see, in
Oh.
action RPGs, loot usually comes in the form of equipment or gear for your
Gear,
character.
yep.
Sometimes
That's
in
what I
form of
wanted.
gold or some other currency. But I don't have any plans to make a whole gear your character system. It's on another level of complexity and I just want to finish my small project. But I already do have a skill system in place, so what if instead of gear, monsters will drop abilities and various passives which enhance your character? Let me explain. The character starts with no skills, only with auto attack, and should fight some monsters to drop various skills. I will divide loot in 2 categories. Abilities, one of the 6 I created, and passives. You can't use passives directly, but they will give your character some stats. For example, there might be a passive skill that gives you 10% attack speed. And
That is actually a
10%
really good
physical
way.
damage. A perfect passive to use with your Tornado ability. When you collect a shard, it can give you one of the 6 abilities we discussed previously, or a passive skill. I created a special interface window where you can see all the various skills you have collected. You can then choose which passives and abilities you want to use by putting them onto your skill bar, which basically creates your gameplay style. For example, you can choose to use a Tornado ability and 5 passive skills which enhance my only active
This game
ability.
actually looks
Look,
really
now I
fun.
can
What
sustain
the
mana
fuck?
cost and don't worry about my mana anymore. This system adds a whole build making layer to the
It
game,
actually
which
looks like
I
a
find
fun
really
game to
cool
play.
and attacks.
Holy
You can see
shit.
it damages enemies way more frequently, as well as drains your mana. Here is a
Oh
better
my
example.
God.
Ground Slam with no modifiers, and Ground Slam with 200% attack speed.
Oh my God.
This is an Earthquake ability, pretty impactful.
This is absolutely great,
Let's
dude.
set
Oh my
our
God.
area effect bonus to 200. Way more impactful, right?
Oh my God.
Tornado with some AoE looks juicy.
Ah.
If you made it through all 21 days, you completed the game. But each day enemies get more health and more damage, as well as new types of enemies appear. So I made sure it's very difficult to survive through all days. I implemented day switching main. After surviving a day, you can choose to repeat current day, go back to previous one, or continue your progress in the next day. which
Day
completes-
1? Oh my god, bro. It's like some sort of fucking Call of Duty wave shit, dude. It's like Call of Duty zombie wave stuff. That is really fantastic. Wow.
Game loop. You fight enemies, get loot, improve your character with the loot you get, choose your passives and abilities.
It looks
and if
really
you're
good.
strong
It looks
enough,
really actually
go
fun to
the
play.
next day. If you don't feel like you're strong, you can farm some passives in the current
You
day,
can
or
even
go
farm
back to the
items,
previous
man.
I also made a bunch of small changes and bug fixes, like combat polishing, adding a custom cursor, death and day reset,
Damn.
abilities tooltips, and the very first message you see when you start the game. Finally, I added some background noise, music, and some Shrek voice lines.
You hit like a pixie.
I found them on YouTube, straight from the Shrek 2 game.
Get on an ogre's bad side.
Shrek will occasionally throw a phrase or two.
Oh, my head hurts.
I added sounds for almost everything, most notably abilities.
Oh my god.
I'm not a sound designer by any means, so they all came from my library of marketplace assets. The very last
this is
thing
so
I
good.
want to show you is this cute sign, and now I want you to follow me on my very first playthrough. When you start the game and try to interact with Shrek's house, you notice some weird noise behind you. Since I have nothing but my fists,
Hey, get out of my
it may take some
swamp.
time.
God, it's so fucking good.
See? Now you've gone and made me angry.
We got some loot, and I can go check it out. I moved skill window to the iconic house.
Oh.
You need to learn the hard way.
For the music sounds heavenly as fuck. Jeez, man. Oh, you're gonna die. He's gonna die.
That's enough.
I actually get slapped on the Thursday,
Next time, I'll sit on you.
so I get back to the day 2 and farmed it a bit, to get better passives and maybe some active abilities. I looted a potion ability and a North Bolt one. But after I started the 3rd day, I found myself running around and waiting for my mana to regenerate. It wasn't hard at all, it was just tedious, so I got bored and quit. I did my 2nd, 3rd and 4th playthrough, trying different
Day
skills
11.
with different passives. I found some overperforming skills, some underperforming ones, and some game-breaking
Holy
ones as well.
shit.
I went back and did some balancing, changing almost every skill in some way, changing enemies and loot scaling, and fixing a bunch of bugs. My first real playthrough felt way much better. There were no incredibly busted abilities, enemies felt challenging enough, and it was a lot of fun to try different builds. Passive management was still quite tedious, if you have a lot of them. But the game is in a much better state overall. Of course, it will be even better with more improvements and balance changes. But hey, I gotta finish somewhere. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be a fun prototype for a YouTube video about Shrek, because we all love Shrek. By no means this is a finished game, but I will still upload this project on my itch.io page if you want to explore and try it
Damn,
out.
this is
It
actually available on
probably a very
itch.io.
heavy project since I used a lot of mega scans. and high quality textures. So if there is no link in the description, it is probably still uploading, or I'm
Holy
already in jail
shit.
for an IP breach.
Just like I said, this game is probably goddamn better than like most AAA games out there, which is just absurd nowadays. Love that. Love it.